don't like to be disturbed while reading.
Yes, sir.
Don't take this book to the library. I don't want Miss Lydia to read it.
Very good, sir.
Oh, Mr. Bennet, have you heard the news?
I have not.
Oh, it's of tremendous importance to all of us.
Can you wait till I finish this chapter?
No! It's more than any book that has ever been written. The great house at Netherfield has been let at last.
Oh, not really.
Yes, Miss Longster's been here told me. Don't you want to know who has taken it?
Oh, you want to tell me? I've no objection to hearing it.
Well, my dear, he's a young man of large fortune from the north of England, and he's already installed with a retinue of servants.
What's his name?
His name is Bingley.
Oh, married or single?
Bingley, my dear, to be sure, with 4,000 or 5,000 a year. What a splendid thing for one of our girls.
Oh, how so? How can it affect them?
How can you be so tiresome, Mr. Bennet? You must spend time thinking of marrying one of them.
Is that his design in settling here?
Design? Nonsense! You see, it's quite likely that he will fall in love with one of them, so you must go visit him as soon as possible.
Oh, I see no occasion for that. You and the girls may go. You may send them on their own. That may be wiser. Or you're as handsome as any of them. Mr. Bingley might argue much of the party.
Oh, you flatter me, my dear, but when a woman has 3 grown daughters, she must give over thinking of her own beauty. So you see, we'll call on Mr. Bingley at once.
Oh, come now, that's going rather far. You know my habits.
Mr. Bennet, do you never think of your daughter's futures? Do you realize that with the estate entailed, they will be practically penniless when you die? Not to mention that odious cousin of yours, that Collins.
Oh, that reminds me, I've had a letter I want
Do not interrupt. We're not talking about letters, we're talking about Collins, odious creature. Inheriting our home, you and taking the estate away from your own daughters.
Mrs. Bennet, is it really impossible for you to grasp the fact that the law entails not my advising? The law dictates that all estates shall be inherited by male descendants only, and we have no sons, possibly you remember.
How can you criticize me? You have no compassion on my nerves.
You are mistaken, my dear. High compassion for your nerves. I've heard you mention them with consideration for these last 20 years.
Yes, but you don't know what I suffer.
There, have your little cry. Don't you say help your nerves.
Lady Lucas and Miss Lucas, madame.
Oh, good God. I think I'll go outside and get some fresh air. I'll be back in half an hour.
Tea, Mrs. T. Good. How nice and kind to see you. Hill, fetch the young ladies and then tea.
Let me get near the fire. I'm positively frozen. Will we have a few moments to spend with you?
Have you heard about our new neighbours?
Yes, we have met the young man, Miss Bennet. Charming, perfectly charming. Charlotte is quite smitten when she met him. Won't you laugh?
And there's no use being smitten the moment he sets eyes on Jane.
Oh, we really must get Jane out of the way.
Who's going to get me out of the way? I'll try to prevent it. Lady Lucas. Hello, Charles.
Mama, how do you like my new bonnet?
I think it's sweetly pretty. Girls,
Lady Lucas has met Mr. Bingley. Sir William had met him in London and is delighted with him. Young, handsome, extremely agreeable, and rich, my dears.
I must give Mr. Bennet a call.
You'll have to wait a couple of days. He has gone up to London on business.
Are you quite sure?
Certainly. He was to dine with us yesterday, but it seemed not to regret that he was called away. Charlotte was so disappointed, weren't you, dear?
Yes, Mamma. Indeed, I can't imagine what the young man had to do in London so soon after his arrival in Hertfordshire. I do hope the young man will be flying back from place to place and settling down in Netherfield as he ought.
But surely not. He has a right to go to London if he wishes.
He only went for the night. He'll be back again today. He's giving a ball at Nicholas.
Oh, I must give Mr. Bennet a call.
He's bringing his sister Caroline with him. She's to keep house. Also a Mr. Darcy, Squire of Pemberley, a princely estate. He's even wealthier than Mr. Bingley, and they are inseparable friends.
Also a bachelor?
Yes, but reported to be engaged to his cousin, the daughter of Lady Catherine Burke.
I don't believe in marriage between cousins, but the engagement is only a report, Lady Lucas.
Yes, so far, but he's a high and mighty young man, Mrs. Bennet. He wouldn't look at anyone under a peer's daughter. His mother was Lady Anne Darcy, sister to Lady Catherine Burke. Oh, very old family.
So then Charlotte is not in the running either.
Mamma, please.
You forget, dear Mrs. Bennet, that since Sir William was knighted by His Majesty, Charlotte has been presented at court.
Isn't it lucky for us? Mr. Bennet was born a gentleman, so my girls don't need to
on, it was screaming all
It
over.
doesn't mean anything. Perhaps I haven't any character. As long as you all love me, I don't mind. Oh, you have the loveliest character in the world, darling. Maman, weren't your eyes a little bit red? You weren't crying before the Lucases came, were you?
Yes, your papa, of all the selfish, inconsiderate men, disobliging and cantankerous.
And what unspeakable thing has he done this time?
Refuses to call on Mr. Bingley for no reason in the world.
And did you ask him to?
Of course.
And you call that no reason? Why don't you know yet that men instinctively refuse everything we ask them to do and end by doing it? That doesn't sound sensible. Who said that they were sensible? I'll wager that Papa's on his way to Netherfield at this very moment.
Well, who cares whether we meet Mr. Bingley or not? I don't. I prefer a man in uniform, a military one.
Oh, yes. Army officers are excellent companions. You can talk to them and be thinking of something else at the same time.
I don't see why.
I can't imagine any intelligent man voluntarily choosing a regimented life.
Lizzie, really, I can't imagine where you get your queer ideas from, but what makes you
Well,
think?
what my word?
What is it? Lydia, you should not be staring out. Oh, it's your father. And two gentlemen, Elizabeth, you're uncanny. I think those are your neighbours.
You see, one can always tell what they will do. How clever you are.
Oh, my dears, and look, you dressed your taffetas.
Mrs. Bennet, allow me to introduce our new neighbours. Mr. Bingley, my wife. Mr. Darcy, my wife and my daughters. Miss Jane, Miss Elizabeth, and Miss Lydia. Have you any tea left for us, Mrs. Bennet?
I'm all trouble, Lydia, my love. Wait for Hill. So charmed, my dear sirs.
Your service, I was riding up to Netherfield to actually call on these gentlemen when I met them en route to the village. Well, what's so funny about that?
But never mind. It is so nice to have some eligible young men in the neighbourhood class. Mr. Bingley, I do hope we'll be seeing more of him this winter.
Oh, I think I can promise that, ma'am.
I hope you're finding a part of the country to your liking, Mr. Darcy.
I do not care for the country, Miss Bennet.
What a pity. Then it must irk you to be compelled to live in it. Lady Lucas was telling us of your estate at Pemberley.
What? Not a care for the country, sir? Surely you don't prefer London to Derbyshire?
One moves in such a confined circle outside big cities.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, don't agree with you. The only advantage that big cities have over us is their shops. It's true, we can't buy anything we really want at the High Street in Meryton, and while that certainly upsets me at times...
Does it?
Mr. Bingley, I hear from Mrs. Long that your drawing room has such a charming prospect over the gravel walk. I really don't know anywhere in the country to equal Netherfield for its view. I hope you won't be leaving us in a hurry, even though you have such a short lease.
I see you've not been idle, Mrs. Bennet.
Everything I do is done in a hurry. When I fall in love, I expect it will be the same.
That isn't anything to boast of, my dear fellow. Thank you, Miss Bennet. It's a sign of far from solid character.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Mr. Bingley seems far too charming for solidity.
You begin to understand me, Miss Bennet.
Oh, perfectly.
Is that a compliment? To be so transparent.
In this case, yes. It isn't always the deep people who are the charming ones.
Ah, the charming ones often cause the most trouble, though.
So, you're a student of character, Miss Bennet.
At times.
You must find it hard to use your gift here.
On the contrary, sir.
I am of the opinion that those who live in the country belong to the country.
Well, as to me, I like them both. City or country, wherever I am, I'm happy. Give me a horse, a long road, a whiff of hay, and a country rose.
Well, that is because you are very nice, Mr. Bingley. That gentleman seems to think the green fields are beneath him.
So indeed, Mamma, you misunderstand Mr. Darcy. He only means that city people are different from us. May I give you some more tea, Mr. Darcy? I'm sure your horse is grown cold.
Thank you. But I rarely drink it warmer.
Mr. Bingley, I do believe you know Sir William Lucas.
Oh yes, ma'am, he was one of the first gentlemen of the county to honour me with a visit.
What an agreeable man. So much the man of fashion, so genteel and easy. That's my idea of breeding. So unlike those people who fancy themselves too important to open their mouths except to criticize.
It might be wise to give them less cause, Mr. Bennet.
I'm sorry I'm not here earlier, Mr. Bingley. my friend Charlotte Lucas was here. Oh, it is such a shame that poor Charlotte's so pregnant.
Oh, she seems a very pleasant young woman.
Oh, very little thing.
Mrs. Bennet, how about releasing the gentleman to the ladder for a cup of Madeira wine? That homicidal feeling that invariably attacks me at tea parties is attacking me right now.
Well, that is very good news, sir, but we must be getting back to Netherfield. My sister is about.
You mustn't believe that Mr. Bennet really wishes to murder my guest, sir. He's not such a bear as he pretends. If you continue to say such things, the gentleman will begin to pity me.
Indeed, ma'am, we should never dream of pitying you.
Your servant, ma'am. I trust we may look forward to your visit to Netherfield very soon. With your daughters. My sister is impatient to receive you.
Tell Mrs. Bingley we shall call at once. In fact, tomorrow. I want to be certain of securing you both for a little assembly next month.
That's most kind of you, ma'am.
Yes, we usually hold our ball about this time.
We shall be prodigiously pleased to come. You may rest assured of that, ma'am.
Gentlemen,
Whatever is Mamma talking of?
Shane, he likes you.
Likes me? Why, Lizzie, whoever do you mean? Oh, I don't mean Mr. Darcy, for I doubt that he likes anyone, with the probable exception of himself. But Mr. Bingley, there's a gentleman of rare intelligence and perception. Oh, from the first moment he laid eyes on you, he could look at no one else. I approve of him for that, my darling Lizzie, for all the worth and wisdom that you delight to assume through a truly romantic heart. What? Never have I been so insulted! Don't dare to deny it. And some day some man will discover it, and he will make you love him desperately, marvelously. Perhaps, my sweet. But I have yet to meet the man who can inspire so much as a flicker of interest. Not Mr. Darcy.
That Mr. Darcy. What a disagreeable man. So high and conceited.
Dear me, that's simply no enduring. But what a darling Mr. Bingley is.
Quite a gentleman. I flatter myself you make quite the impression on Mr. Bingley.
oh, nothing to the impression you made on Mr. Darcy, Mrs. Bennet.
I do not want to impress such an ill-bred young man. I simply don't want his admiration.
Well, that seems to me like a veritable coincidence.
What an excellent father you have, my loves. I don't know how you will ever repay him for his kindness. Only I know that matter.
Heavens, His Royal Highness departed. I have never to meet a conceited prick like that ever again.
Lydia, my love, where did you get to?
Oh, I couldn't stand his majestic atmosphere. Made me feel much too inferior.
Well, never mind. You may be the youngest, but you're just as pretty as Lizzie, so Mr. Bingley is sure to dance with you at our ball.
Our ball? What ball, Mamma?
The one your pa and I are having next month.
Thank you for the news of my intentions, Mrs. Bennet. But may I crave a little further information?
Why don't you tell us beforehand your intentions, Mamma?
Well, I only knew about it myself just before I said it.
I may be a too inquisitive, Mrs. Bennet, but pray tell, who's going to pay for this nonsense?
You silly man. How do you expect me to find husbands for your daughter if you persist in being so stingy with me?
Oh, Mamma, you must have all of our officers from Colonel Foster's regiment. I'll give you their names.
Only those private incomes, my dear. It's just as easy to fall in love with one of them.
Now, Mrs. Bennet, I have a surprise for you. I have a confession to make.
A confession. Why, Mr. Bennet, what have you been up to?
Mamma always expects the worst. Never mind, Papa, I'll stand by you.
Well, it's about that letter. I received it a week ago, and I did try to tell you about it this afternoon, my dear, but as usual, I couldn't induce you to listen.
In your own good time. I do hope we will know what it is you're talking about.
I hope you have an extra nice dinner prepared for this evening, my dear.
The dinners I serve are usually excellent, but why this night in particular?
Because we're about to have an addition to the family circle for a couple of weeks. The guest may arrive any time now, and I
Mr.
would...
Bennet, you will be the death of me because no way of telling things. A guest. May one ask the gentleman's name?
Mr. William Collins. My cousin, you know, the popular gentleman who may turn you all out of the state as soon as he pleases when I am dead.
Oh, how you love your little jokes, my dears. That odious creature would have the impudence to show his face here. I can't bear to think of him coming and taking our home when you die.
Now,
If not for the entail, I shouldn't mind it.
Now, if you'll listen a moment, you'll understand his reasoning of inviting himself, and your heart may be softened.
Indeed it will not. I find it very impertinent for him to invite himself, and very hypocritical, and I shall be very reserved with him. Very reserved indeed.
Yes. In his letter, he only continued mind you, that he wishes to look over our daughters with the object of choosing one per wife, as to partly atone for the guilt of inheriting our estate.
So then he must have some proper feeling.
Can he be a sensible man, sir?
He sounds to me like a bit of an ass.
Lydia, nice of the clergy.
I thought I heard you refer to him as an odious creature a few minutes ago.
Oh, that agitated him becoming a matrimonial prospect.
Mr. Bennet, sir.
Hill, we are expecting a Mr. Collins to dinner.
And to stay for several weeks.
Quite, madame. And as I was saying, sir, I showed the gentleman to his room as soon as he arrived.
Arrived! Mr. Bennet, is that?
It is the gentleman, ma'am. Sir William Collins.
Ah, Collins, you have no idea how interested your letters have made me in this meeting.
Your most obedient servant.
Yes, Mrs. Bennet, allow me to introduce the Reverend William Collins, my wife, sir, and my daughter, Miss Jane, Miss Elizabeth, and Miss Lydia.
I have been long anxious to come. I am grateful, ma'am, that my overtures were so graciously accepted by you.
Not at all, dear sir. We've so been looking forward to this happy occasion.
I must compliment you, ma'am, on so fine a family of daughters. I had heard much of their beauty, but in this instance, fame falls far short of the truth. There is no doubt that you will soon see them well disposed in marriage.
Oh, that is very nice of you to say, and I certainly hope so. Things are arranged so very oddly.
Oh, you doubtless allude to the entail of the estate, ma'am.
Ah, sir, 'tis indeed a grievous affair. Not that I blame you for it, for we all know who is to blame.
Oh, indeed, I am very sensitive of the hardship of my fair cousins. But I have come with a plan. No. Perhaps when we are better acquainted.
Mr. Collins, I must see that Hill is getting out some of Mr. Bennet's finer port. Lydia, come and help me.
Your hospitality itself, dear Mrs. Bennet.
And in the meantime, Mr. Collins, do proceed with your plan.
Sir, you mentioned in your letters that you were prodigious fortunate in your patroness.
Ah, the Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Oh, you know her ladyship, cousin?
Only by name, sir. We've got to mingle with such exalted society at Meryton.
Do not be downhearted, Miss Elizabeth. Stranger things have happened, I assure you. And when you do have the honor of meeting her ladyship, believe me, you will agree that it is the greatest of privileges. She has actually invited me to dine at her mansion, Rosings, twice. And sent for me only last Sunday to make up a cruel quadrille. Yes, indeed. Her ladyship is considered proud and haughty by many people, but I have seen nothing but affability and condescension.
As does her ladyship live near you?
Oh, the garden in which stands my humble abode is separated only by a lane from Rosen Park.
Oh, you certainly are fortunate, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. I try to remain worthy of my good fortune. I have observed to her ladyship that her charming daughter seemed born to be a duchess. These sort of remarks to the mother who is nobly born. And it's the sort of attention I feel it is my duty to pay.
Well, you certainly have a high sense of duty. But may I ask, does it come naturally, or do you think it out?
Oh, no, it is quite natural with me, so.
We'd like to have a letter, Mr. Collins.
Oh, after dinner, my dear cousins, if you care for it, I'm considered a very good reader, and will gladly read aloud to you as we gather around the fire.
Well, that would be entrancing. We have a vast deal of novels.
Novels! Novels! Dear cousin, I never read such works, but I have brought with me an excellent volume of Fortis's sermons.
How warm it is in the ballroom. I am pining for a drink of something cool.
It is my privilege to offer it to you.
My dear Captain Denny and my dear Miss Amelia, have you ever in your whole lives had a more wonderful time?
Never, Miss Lydia. Pardon my honor.
It has been charming.
I right now it's my own long passport. Shouldn't run on about it so, but I can't help it, I really can't.
Why shouldn't you? Some shrug, Miss Lydia.
Oh, no, I mustn't. Paul says it's too strong. He thinks I'm still a child.
Papas are all like that. Shall we return to the ballroom, Captain Denny?
By all means.
Mr. Wickham!
Your servant, but there's something most egregiously wrong here.
Wrong?
And you should be alone for an instant. It is a reflection of the intelligence of every gentleman present that one so young and so surpassingly fair should lack an escort.
Oh, Mr. Wickham, you sold yourself as beautifully as you look.
Our lives of grim duty make us doubly appreciative, Miss Lydia. After the rigors of camp life, it is sheer delight to find oneself so fine a home, such fine company.
Oh, but surely you must have many that fine.
There are not many that speak so much of quiet gentility, the perfect setting for such exquisite mordant as. Need I say it, Miss Pope? Your father is a very wealthy man, Miss Bennet, but I must say that his greatest treasure was his youngest daughter.
Oh, Mr. Wickham.
My dear Lydia. Mr. Wickham.
Your servant, ma'am.
Have you seen our conservatory, Mr. Wickham?
Oh, yes, I was just admiring.
Lydia, why don't you take Mr. Wickham to see our conservatory?
Oh, Mr. Wickham!
That's so kind.
Your most pleasure!
Isn't it incredible? My youngest daughter is the marriageable age. With 3 daughters, you must find yourself in a constant state of incredibility. That certainly makes life interesting. We have some troubling news. Mr. Bennet promised me to be most harmless. Do go in and dance, my dears. The musicians become so discouraged of everyone who makes it a conservatory.
Such a well-behaved young lady.
Oh, yes, I like her prodigiously.
She's not a bit pretty. I've never still find you off my Charlotte.
Indeed, Lady Lucas, you must not feel that way. Charlotte is such a
Sensible girl. That means it's going to be quite difficult to find her husband. You know how little the gardener has for sense with young ladies, Miss Bennet.
Well, you see, I'm not much of an authority on such matters. I was married so young.
Yes, I know that.
I again. A bit romantic. Don't you think our husband
Tippling, Mamma! And you, Lady Lucas, shame on you!
something in this Lizzie will do for a promise?
Well, then my dear papa must have been a bit absent-minded when he made the mixture. It's violently potent.
Dear, perhaps he does not measure.
Your guests are awaiting
one of my girls. Is it not a relief to get away from all those dancing dervishes? Will you have some of this shrub, Charlotte?
Mr. Bingley was saying what a good idea was to have a wait for supper where a fellow could have his chicken in peace. Nothing gentleman, isn't he?
Quite charming. And Jane seems to think so too. Oh, how lovely the darling looks tonight. Her eyes are like stars. I wonder if her shyness is such an asset, though.
You fear Bingley might be an encouragement?
Few men possess enough heart to be really in love without it, Charles.
I think Bingley will get the need of encouragement this evening. He seems to be enjoying himself immensely.
I hope so. For myself, I call it deadly dull. All I can see is a number of brainless young men and eager young ladies prancing about awkwardly to the strains of tepid music. Do you think this sort of thing is fun, Charles?
It's a means to an end. Surely Miss Caroline Bingley is warning enough against spinster.
Is a warning necessary?
Did you notice the fair young Lydia's triumphant progress in the ballroom? Right under the maternal nose, too. And her mother speeds on her.
Oh, yes. The more he's shocked if the gentleman glimpses our ankles. But to let him understand that he may attain complete possession is perfectly proper.
Oh, dear me, my feet ache.
What do you think of that new man, Mr. Wickham? Very attractive, isn't he?
The delectable collie was drawn all over me.
But are you trying to evade my question, Charlotte?
About Wickham? I noticed Miss Caroline Bingley wouldn't stand up with him.
I expect she models herself on Darcy and only stands up with members of the period.
To be quite sincere, I feel there's something not quite right about this Wickham. Concentrate on Darcy. Rich, aristocratic,
Priggish and snobbish?
well, we must take what offers, my dear. When do we ever live the nights of our dreams? Men will put onto this earth to teach women the law of compromise.
Don't be ridiculous, Charlotte. Come, we must feed the Pyrenean guests. Oh, Miss Elizabeth. Oh, I'm vastly sorry to see you're leaving, Amanda.
It was a truly delightful evening. Shall I see you tomorrow, Charlotte?
We can go out this way. The carriage is near that door.
Oh, we'll see you out.
It was a most excellent ball.
I saw you going down the dance with all the gentlemen who struck with you.
Darcy? Darcy, what are you thinking of? The evening is nearly over. You must dance. Come, be a good fellow, Darcy.
I realize I'm not contributing much to the gaiety of the assembly, but I find it hard to be a good fellow on such an occasion.
Aren't any of the young ladies to your taste?
I should call them all uncommonly pretty.
Oh, and Miss Jane is the prettiest of all. Really, Darcy, you're notoriously lacking in appreciation. But did you ever behold anyone more exquisitely lovely?
If you wish me to agree with you, I shall be glad to do so.
And what of her sister? She's quite pretty too.
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Yes.
She is one of all others I prefer to avoid.
But really, she is most agreeable.
On the contrary, she is one of the most disagreeable young women I have ever had the ill luck to encounter.
Oh, shame on you, Darcy. She is a delightful girl. Find out for yourself.
Oh, all right. But I'll only stand up with her once, and only for your sake.
You may change your mind.
Why do we tolerate that man?
No doubt because he's of the very rich. Those who do not envy the tribe adore it.
So I shall see that he does not come here again.
Forget, dear, that he wasn't friends with Bingley and may influence him against Jane.
Oh, Miss Mason, to bid you a good night. If you'll excuse me, I'll be leaving at once. It's been very unpleasant.
Unpleasant? Here?
We'd better not speak of it.
But Mr. Wickham, I insist.
Just now in the ballroom, Mr. Darcy.
Mr. Darcy, what has he done?
Your mother wished to examine Miss Bingley. Mr. Darcy was with her at the time. They declined to be introduced and walked away.
This is beyond bearing, but why? I was not aware you had even met before.
We knew each other only too well.
And yet he's kind to meet you. There usually is some reason for a gentleman to refuse her guests.
A gentleman would have more consideration for his hostess.
I am not qualified to form any opinion of Mr. Darcy. I've known him far too long and too well to be a fair judge.
Why would Mr. Darcy offer you such an affront?
Please do not ask me, Miss Bennet. I would not wish to injure him in your eyes. If you shall permit me, I shall say good night. He may come in. I would not wish to subject you to a repetition of the disgraceful scene before.
Oh, indeed, he would never dare.
May one ask why you were so anxious to avoid him, Mr. Wickham?
I have no reason except a sense of very great injustice. I wish to spare you and ask for meeting me.
Injustice? I am full of sympathy.
You are so kind, Miss Elizabeth.
Tell me, where did you know him?
My father was the manager of the Darcy estate in Derbyshire.
Oh.
When the other Darcy died, he left instructions for his son to bestow upon me a sum of money.
May one ask why, Mr. Wickham?
I was his godson. He was very fond of me. I was also to receive the clerk living with his gift of Pemberley.
But surely Mr. Darcy obeyed his dead father's wishes.
Refusing both the living and the money.
The wretch!
I was forced to enter the army, and I find a test.
Indeed, I do not like Mr. Darcy. I should hardly have thought him dishonest.
I should have thought him too proud to be.
Thank you for your sympathy, Miss Elizabeth. It's been very precious to me. You should forgive me for inflicting all this upon you, but your heart is so kind. Please let me go now. Convey my apologies to Miss Bennet. I should go this way.
There's a sample of Darcy for you.
I don't like emotional men. It seems to me the reserve of Darcy is preferable. Surely Mr. Darcy, two sides to this affair?
Yes, a right and a wrong.
Miss Elizabeth, they are playing the last extra. May I have the honor?
Thank you, sir. But I'm too tired to dance some more. Besides, I fear the honor would be more than I could bear.
Have I had the misfortune to offend you?
It is rather Mr. Wickham whom you have offended, sir. One of my mother's guests.
It is more than he merits, ma'am.
I beg your pardon. I found him to be quite charming. I'm sure my mother did.
He is blessed with a charm that makes new friendships. I doubt if he possesses the qualities to retain them.
He certainly lacked the talent to retain yours. Did you enjoy the music, Mr. Darcy?
Very much, thank you.
It's your turn to make a remark now.
Whatever you wish me to say, you may consider it said.
Very well. I dare say there are times when it is better to limit conversation to yes or no.
Are you consulting your own wishes, or do you believe you are gratifying mine?
Both. I recognize our similarity. We are each unsociable and taciturn, reluctant to speak unless we can say something that will astonish the whole room, or be handed down to posterity.
I do not believe that describes your character, Miss Bennet. I believe you are describing mine and include yourself out of pity for my wounded feelings.
Have you any, Mr. Darcy?
Evidently you have decided about that.
I hear such different accounts of you, I'm puzzled. When you are present, some of the reports seem difficult to believe.
Why bother to try and solve the puzzle? It's much
Are you
easier.
ready to go, Mr. Darcy? Almost everyone has left. You didn't dance much this minute.
No, there was a scarcity of gentlemen, and I prefer to leave those for our guests. I trust you had plenty of partners, Miss Bingley. Oh, do sit while waiting for your brother.
Oh yes, thank you. I expect he'll come to me any moment. I noticed you danced a great deal with Mr. Wickham. I didn't realize he was a friend of yours. How ever did you two meet?
We came here with Colonel Forster. He's a very interesting young man and seems a gentleman. What curious taste you have, Miss Elizabeth. We are speaking of one of my mother's guests, Miss Bingley.
Oh, I hear you're quite delighted with him. Did you know his father was a mere steward on the Darcy estate? A sort of servant? No doubt he had told you that Mr. Darcy had injured him.
He did.
Oh, well, I do caution you not to give too much credence to these tales. The truth happens to be just the contrary. I'm sorry if you are disillusioned, but what can you expect considering his origin?
That seems to be his chief fault in your eyes. People don't arrange their origins in advance. Nor have I observed that the well-born are invariably the well-bred. I think you attach too much importance to the accident of birth.
Accident? Really, Miss Bennet?
Didn't you ever learn biology?
I would hope never to be so unfeminine. I'm told you are clever and study subjects that only belong to gentlemen. Well, it won't get you very far.
I suppose when you speak of getting far, you're referring to marriage with one of them?
Why, certainly, and you're going the wrong way about it. I share you men detest clever women.
Then why did you let them discover how clever you are, Miss Bingley? I really must go meet my wraps. Are you coming, Lizzie?
I'll tell your brother you're waiting for him.
Ill-bred young women. I can imagine what you are thinking, Mr. Darcy.
I doubt it.
Oh, yes. You and I are too much alike to not feel such disgust at such people. That Elizabeth, forward, overeducated. I'm longing to get home to Netherfield and see you bring forth on the family.
I was actually thinking of what beautiful eyes can do in the face of a pretty woman.
Who is this lady?
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
I am all astonishment. How long has she been in your favor? When am I to wish you joy?
That's exactly what I thought you would ask. A woman's mind is so rapid it jumps from admiration to love and from love to marriage in a moment.
Nay, if you're serious, I shall consider you already married. I expect you'll encounter no opposition. And what a charming mother-in-law.
I can allay your fears, Miss Bingley. I do not believe I will be the one to marry Miss Bennet, but I can assure you she will soon be married.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that, Mr. Darcy, for the family is really impossible, especially the mother.
You should have danced more with the others.
Dance with the others when you are there.
Charles.
Have you noticed Charles? He seems to be falling in love with Jane. Well, I'm very fond of the dear girl. She's very sweet. But always my dearest ambition was to have Charles marry his sister Georgiana. I should hate to hurt her, but my brother's interests do come first.
I cannot believe he is really serious, but I will talk with him tonight.
Oh, Mr. Darcy, sir, I've only just heard that you are the nephew of my revered patroness, Lady Catherine de Bourgh. I wanted to apologize for not having paid my respects earlier. I am happy to inform you, sir, that your noble aunt is enjoying robust health. I heard from her only yesterday. She bids me speed my wooing and hurry home.
What wooing, Mr. Collins? I'm contemplating marriage.
It's a secret as of yet, ma'am, but as you are a friend of the family, it is Miss Elizabeth. I've chosen her to be mistress of my parsonage.
May I congratulate you, Mr. Collins, in a suitable match indeed. It's very difficult for girls without wealth of connections to find suitable husbands, especially when they are hampered with an oversupply of intelligence.
Oh, you do her an injustice, Miss Bingley. I'm sure my cousin is not unsexed with too much brain. I shouldn't like that at all, you know. May I hope to see something of you, sir, when next you visit your revered relative?
Have I kept you waiting?
Ah, Charles, here you are.
Awfully sorry, but I've been having such a splendid time.
You must all excuse me, but there is a certain young lady who commands my most ardent attention.
I believe Miss Elizabeth's intelligence will protect her from that particular calamity.
Are you ready to Darcy, do not your hostess.
I'd like a bracer before our cold drive. Anybody else?
Charles, what was it that Jane said about her uncle?
Oh, I dislike speaking badly of a man I've never met. She told me he is an attorney.
Good heavens.
And lives at Cheapside.
Well, if Jane and Elizabeth have enough uncles to build all Cheapside, it doesn't make them one less bit lovable and charming.
Did you hear about Miss Long? She came in a hack chance.
Isn't it shocking? She hasn't kept a carriage in a 12th month. Ah, yes. Father's thinking of fixing up the town for the winter. He's probably just be fond of superior society.
And how you will adorn it, Miss Amelia. It was cool of you to deny me the happiness of standing up with you.
Not too many protestations, sir.
But it does materially lessen their chances of marriage with men of any consideration in this society. Are we all?
It's safe to keep it burning. Well, darling, you've had a happy night. I've noticed you. Lizzie, I'm too happy. It frightens me. Oh, happiness belongs to you. You're so good and sweet. Oh, is it Charles? Has he made you an offer, dearest? No, you know he will ask my father first. I know he will. Oh, I know. One can never be so sure in these matters. What makes you so sure? Lizzie, he kissed me. He kissed me. Well then, darling, you're as good as married.
Oh, Miss Licia, I shouldn't really. Mass will be prodigious vexed if his journal is even the least bit creased.
Oh, but he doesn't know what'll hurt him.
But Miss Licia, there's even no flies to walk on it. Can't bear a full-stuff journal.
Be quiet, Will.
But Miss Licia, I shall get the brunt of
As
this.
do you good.
Lydia, naughty girl, put that down at once. You must have been across the map in the morning.
I just wanted to know where the officers were to be stationed.
Yes, well, if you'd caught even the merest glimpse of you near that table, business would be
But
settled.
I was watching the door.
You'd better told it exactly as it was. I simply couldn't cope with any more ill temper for one morning. I'm sure I don't know what it is that makes men so tiresome at breakfast time.
Not at this time.
I must be quite the silliest creature in the country. I've suspected it for some time and now I'm convinced.
Mr. Bennet, I am astonished that you should be so ready to call your own child silly. If I wish to think that way of anybody's child, it would be my own.
If my children are idiots, I hope to be intelligent enough to know it.
Well, you can't expect a girl to have as much sense as her mother. I dare say Lydia doesn't think any more of men in uniform than I do. And I thought Mr. Wickham looked very becoming in his regimentals last week.
Mama, my husband said that Colonel Boston and Mr. Wickham are quite often seen standing outside of Platt's library at Meryton. Could Mrs. Jane and I run down to the village to see them?
Oh, for God's sake, go and get something useful to do. Get to your studies and don't let me listen to any more of this foolishness.
Papa, I think you handle Lydia the wrong way. She's only a baby yet. Soldiers are romantic to her.
I only hope she'll get more sense as she grows older. Though I doubt if it ever comes if it isn't born in a female.
Mr. Bennet, I do believe our cousin Collins is prepared
be bereft of his sparkling society in a few days. You have changed your mind with that young man, Mrs. Bennet. He still inherits the estate, you know.
Well, I fancy it's going to stay in the family after all. He seems enchanted with Lizzie, and what with her darling Jane and Mr.
Ah, you've the whole thing settled, eh? Do the gentlemen know of your plans?
Don't be so tiresome, Mr. Bennet.
Jane, will you walk to the village with me this afternoon? I have to
Yes, it's the youngest Mr. Bingley. I don't know. But we'll talk to you about it all.
Ah! There's too much chatter here. Come upstairs to read my paper in peace.
Men have no control over their nerves.
Papa's only teasing you, Mamma.
Oh, letters.
One for you, Miss Jane. Two for you, Miss Lizzie. One for Miss Lydia.
Thank you, Hill.
Shall I take them off to the schoolroom, ma'am?
Oh, no, give it to me. The child is too young to open her own letters.
A few here for the master. Shall I take them to him?
Yes, he's gone upstairs. Ah, cousin, I missed you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. But I had 2 servants to prepare in readiness for my return to my parish. Now, nothing remains before my lamented departure Wednesday, except...
I wonder if I can guess, you naughty boy.
Have I your permission, and Mr. Bennet's, of course, to pay my addresses to your fair daughter, Miss Elizabeth, ma'am?
Nothing would give me greater pleasure, sir.
Then you will persuade her to grant me a private audience?
Oh, yes. Lizzie, my love. Did all my girls go? They were here just a moment ago.
Oh. Shyness, no doubt, my dear Mrs. Bennet. Miss Elizabeth is avoiding me out of maidenly modesty.
Were you calling me, Mamma? Oh, Mr. Collins. Have you finished your sermon? If you'll excuse me, I have to finish my letter.
No, Mr. Collins has something to say to you.
But Mr. Collins can have nothing to say to me that won't wait, Mamma. Elizabeth, I desire you to remain here.
It's perfectly understandable, and indeed proper, that a young girl should display this modesty, my dear Mrs. Bennet. Pray don't blame your charming daughter. Indeed, Miss Elizabeth, it is an added incentive. You can hardly be in doubt as to what I am about to propose. My dear and lovely Elizabeth, your natural delicacy may lead you to dissemble, but I flatter myself my intentions have been too marked to be mistaken. I have singled you out as the companion of my future life. And before my feelings run away with me, I owe it to you to tell you the reasons. That very noble lady, my patroness, has condescended to advise me to marry me. Even goes so far as to promise to visit the lady who I bring to the parsonage with me as my wife, if I choose wisely. The other reason is that you have the honor of knowing her nephew, Mr. Darcy. The mere fact of your acquaintance with him would do much to recommend you to her favor. And charming and genteel as he is, his manners are as nothing to those of his noble aunt. You can learn so much from her. These, dear Miss Elizabeth, are my motives. And now, nothing remains but to assure you of the violence of my affection. that is all you will have as dowry, and even that you will not receive until your mother's death, which lamentable event may not occur for several, nay, many years. But on that score, you can rest assured no ungenerous word of reproach shall ever cross my lips after we are married.
Aren't you a little hasty, sir? You seem to forget that I made no answer to this dazzling offer. I appreciate the honor you have done me, but candor compels me to decline it.
Oh, indeed. Yes, I understand. Dear Miss Elizabeth, yes, it is quite a charming and delicate custom for young ladies to say no when they mean yes. I therefore not at all discouraged and should hope to lead you to the altar before very long.
Upon my word, sir, you are very difficult to discourage. I can assure you I am not one of those idiotic young ladies you describe, if indeed they exist outside of novels. Difficult as it seems for you to believe, I will not marry you.
Oh, come, Miss Elizabeth.
You could not make me happy, and I certainly could not make you
Such
so.
charming modesty.
What is more, I have no ambition to try. And if your friend, the Lady Catherine de Bourgh, really knew me, she would utterly disapprove of me for the exalted position you offer.
Oh, if I thought Lady Catherine would disapprove. No, impossible. You can be sure that when I have the honor of seeing her ladyship again.
You had better ask her to choose for you. Only select a young woman with a humbler and more contrite heart.
No, dear cousin, my mind is made up. And I am all too well aware that it is by no means certain that any other gentleman will ever make you an offer. So I naturally understand that your rejection of my suit is according to the usual practice of elegant females.
I see. Well, if you can, try to stop thinking of me as an elegant female. Just picture me as a rational creature with the most inelegant habit of speaking the truth.
You are quite adorable.
Mr. Collins!
Oh, I am quite certain now that my proposal is formally sanctioned by your excellent parents that you would plainly say yes.
No! Mr. Collins, I will as plainly as possible say no. And you need not try to scamper in front of me again. This time I'm going out by this door.
She loves me. She loves me.
So then I am to wish you joy, my dear son-in-law?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Indeed, I trust I have every reason to be satisfied. I know that my cousin's refusal naturally springs from her bashful modesty.
Refusal? With her, that does not mean acceptance.
You think she means it?
Never mind. That headstrong, foolish girl. She never knows her own interests. And I will teach her.
Headstrong, foolish. Dear me, these qualities will not make her a very desirable wife. If she actually persists in rejecting my suit, I pray you, madam, I pray you, don't Force her. I fear if she has those defects, she will hardly succeed in making me happy.
Oh, dear child is merely willful in these matters and so shy. She's always run away from admiration. She's a veritable gazelle, I assure you. Just wait a moment. I will fetch her papa. He always brings her to reason.
Headstrong, foolish. Thank you, sir. I have just remembered a call I promised to make to Sir William Lucas. Will you be good enough to saddle one of your master's horses for me?
Certainly, sir. The groom was just supposed to take the man with Ranger for his morning exercise. Follow me, sir. We can catch him before he mounts. This way, south.
Mr. Bennett, hurry up. They're always so slow. All in an uproar. Come, you must use your authority. Mr. Collins. Oh, he's gone. Mr. Bennett. You must do something. You must make haste. Elizabeth says she won't marry Mr. Collins, and you must force her to change her mind before he changes his and won't have her.
I have not the pleasure of understanding you, my dear. May I ask what you are talking about?
Oh, Mr. Collins and Lizzie. Lizzie, because she won't have him, and he needs to say he won't have her.
And it seems entirely settled on both sides. What am I supposed to do?
Tell her you insist on her marrying him. Elizabeth!
Where is this misguided girl?
Here, sir.
Come here, my child. I understand Collins has made you an offer and you have refused it.
I have, Papa.
Very well, let's come to the point. Your mother wishes for you to marry Collins, isn't that right, Mrs. Bennet?
Or else I shall never speak to her again.
Then it seems an unhappy alternative awaits you, Lizzie. From this day forth, you must be a stranger to one of your parents. Your mother will never speak to you again if you do not marry Collins, and I will never speak to you again if you do.
We already Mr. Collins for the entire day. Where? He moved on to the Lucas's. He can't be back for hours. Elizabeth, do you see what you've done? You lost him in that plain-faced, scheming little cat who will get him and turn us all out before your father's pulled to his grave.
Nonsense! Charlotte couldn't even look at him.
Don't be so hasty, Lizzie. Charlotte can't afford to be as particular as you, and she knows it.
How can you choose to be an old maid? Every family I have. Lydia, why didn't you stop him? He might have had you. No!
Ah, rubbish. Well, Lizzie won't die old maid. Right mind a little judgment, my dear. Collins isn't the only example of his sex. Thank God.
Oh, Jane, dear.
Yes, Mama, did you want me?
Jane, Lizzie is done for. She's going to be an old maid. Oh, you've been crying. Don't tell me things have gone wrong between you and Mr. Bingley. Oh, ha, ha, ha.
We seem to be the three graces nobody wants.
Lydia! It's nothing, Mama. Jane had a letter from Caroline Bingley. From London.
London? You don't mean that they've left Netherfield?
They've only gone up to see some of the playhouses, Mama. I'm sure they'll be back.
I really think you should have made an offer to your father before leaving for London. He's already compromised you enough with his attentions.
Don't, Mama.
Oh. I shall fetch this.
Oh, don't, darling. He'll come back. Lizzie, he hasn't said one word. Not one. You can't understand it. Caroline merely tells me they're not coming back until the spring. Oh, nonsense. You'll see. He'll be back to see Papa before the week is out. Only,
if you decide that the anguish of disobliging his cat of a sister is more than equal to the joy of marrying him, then I advise you to refuse him.
Naughty girl, Lizzie. You know very well that I should marry him if it vexed every relative he has. But if he doesn't come back, Lizzie, I couldn't bear it. I think I should die.
He must come back. He wouldn't be able not to.
Jane, dear, Father and I have decided to allow you to accept your Aunt Gardner's invitation to spend a few months with her and my brother in London.
But Mama, you didn't know that my aunt had invited me.
Never mind about that. My letter will be on its way tomorrow. Father is willing to take you up as soon as you can make ready.
Mama, well, Mrs. Bennet, you certainly don't believe that marriages are made in heaven.
Well, from what I know with men, if we were to leave it up to them in heaven, we'd all be old maids.
Come on.
Isn't it grand, ma'am? See Miss Jane out at last. It's lovely she looks going for a walk.
I hope Mary takes good care of the girl. I do so want the dear child to have nice and pink cheeks today.
While she is about the type party, ma'am. Do you like the way I played it?
Oh! What wine only 3 cups, then?
Let's be the god, ma'am. I thought only the grand Miss Bingley was after coming.
Miss Bingley has a brother, Maggie.
Oh, ma'am, dear, we have made it. Himself is coming too.
Wait and see. In the meantime, bring another cup and saucer. Everything must be perfect for Miss Jane's sake. This is a great day for her.
Rely on me, ma'am. I lay down and die for Miss Jane.
We must show Miss Bingley that we may not be as grand as she, we are just as genteel, even if we do live in Cheapside.
Oh, Auntie, I've had such a lovely walk. I feel almost well again now.
After Miss Bingley's visit, I am sure you will feel better still, eh, darling?
And wait till you hear the news about Lizzie.
What? You've had a letter from her?
Yes, and what do you think, Auntie? She's actually staying at Rosie's. With Lady Catherine Bird. She was invited with Mr. and Mrs. Collins.
Mrs. Collins? But I thought that silly young man had made an offer to Lizzie.
Yes, and after she rejected him, he tried Charlie Lucas, with better result. Mamma has refused to kiss Lizzie goodnight ever since.
I should think Miss Bennet would have thanked heaven instead.
No, Mamma regards any husband as better than no husband. Only poor Lizzie has to think differently about marriage. Mamma's not very romantic.
That is the most penetrating observation I have ever heard from your innocent Miss Jane.
I wonder how Lizzie will like Lady Catherine de Bourgh. I hear she's even more imposing than Mr. Darcy. Oh, he's at Rosings too. Lizzie detests him, but I've always liked him. I feel that under that proud shine married.
Because you, like all the world's darling, bless your sweetheart.
Sure, ma'am. 'Tis herself that's coming down the grandest carriage. Miss Bingley, it must be, for I never see the like of the 2 horses and the coachman. Is Miss Bingley alone, Maggie? I couldn't see plainly, but 'tis sure I am himself must be sitting up beside her.
Hurry, Maggie, go and open the door. Well, Jane, thank goodness you look so bright. I'll take your things and make sure the scones are hot.
Miss Bingley. Jane, dear, I've been dying to see you. Dear Carolyn, I'm very happy to see you. Is everyone well? Miss Darcy and your brother?
Oh, very well indeed, my dear. Miss Georgiana Darcy's up in town for her first season. Her and her brother have been entertaining vastly at the Darcy estate.
Mr. Darcy's quite devoted to his sister, isn't he?
Well, he's not the only one. Of course, she is so lovely, one can't wonder. And all that fortune. Did you know when she comes of age, she'll have £20,000? Quite a breathtaking sum, if I say. Not that money matters to either Charles or myself, but one can't have too much of it.
I'm sure that with such a sweet girl as Miss Darcy, money counts very little. She's many suitors, I suppose.
Oh, yes, but you can be assured her family won't let her take a young gentleman unless they are of the highest connections. Do not look as well as you did in the country, my dear. Are you doing poorly?
No, I've never felt better. I'm always a little pale in the city. Miss the fresh air.
Oh.
Are you and your brother staying in London much longer, Miss Carolyn?
Only only until the conclusion of this affair.
There's some business, Carolyn.
I wouldn't confide to anyone else, but since you and I are such close friends, even though I haven't given myself the pleasure of visiting you here. Oh, you promised to keep it a secret.
Of course.
I'm hoping to hear the happy news any day now. I know you'll be the first to wish them joy.
Joy?
Oh, Charles and dear Georgiana.
Oh. Indeed. Indeed, I wish them joy. They truly love each other.
Oh, yes, the dear boy is so much in love. I tease him all the time. He's never home now, escorting Miss Darcy here, there, everywhere. Balls, around the playhouse. Mr. Darcy and I have wanted this match for ever so long. I'll convey your wishes to Charles.
Miss Bingley, may I present to my aunt, Mrs. Gardiner?
Permit me to welcome you, Miss Bingley. My Darcy, please, ma'am. Oh, I've forgotten all the excitement. Charles sends you his best respects.
Thank you for me.
May I offer you some tea, Miss Bingley? Oh, just the teeniest cup. Sugar and milk, Miss Bingley? No, thank you.
It's so sweet of you to find time to visit my aunt, dear Carolyn.
Oh, well, I should have been here earlier, only I've simply been persecuted with invitations.
Jane, dearest, I've made your cup stronger. Jane is overtired, gone on about so much since she came to London.
I didn't know you had any acquaintances here.
Is that why you've been so attentive to her? I didn't know she was in London until she called. Nearly a month ago.
Auntie, I have no claim on Miss Bingley's time. As many friends in London as much understanding.
Oh, Jane, dear, you understand perfectly. She's so understanding of one's difficulties. Even this short visit has simply bankrupted my time. With Mr. Darcy being gone at Rosings, I have to keep Georgiana entirely under my wing until his return. I can't leave those two young people alone, you know, with the betrothal and all not announced yet. It's been very nice meeting you, ma'am. Attend Miss Bingley to her coach, ma'am. Goodbye, dear Jane. It's been a delight as always. Good afternoon.
Oh, Auntie.
I know, Father. It's the disillusionment that cuts very hard.
To abandon me without a word. What could I have done to him? He loved me, Auntie. He did. He did. He kissed me once and I kissed him. You believe, don't you, that I should never have done that if I hadn't been sure that he wanted to make me an offer, don't you?
Of course I do, my man.
And do you suppose that he understands that too? I wouldn't have him think ill of me.
Well, it's all a mystery to me. When I met him at Longbourn, he seemed like such a properly sweet young gentleman.
He is, I do assure you, Auntie, he is. But now it's all over. I can't bear it. I can't.
Good morning, Miss Elizabeth.
Good morning.
It seems a pity to be wasting all the sunshine.
It would be if one were doing so without good reason.
You were right in that.
Shall we say I was trying to?
Pray, do not let me disturb you.
Is there something you wish to say, Mr. Darcy?
Well, I was wondering if you were pleased with Kent.
I prefer Hertfordshire.
We have had little opportunity for conversing these past few days. I was surprised to find you a fellow member at my aunt's.
I'm too surprised. I expected to visit the Collinses at the parsonage. I was not prepared for such an excessive hospitality on the part of your aunt.
She likes to have young people about her. But I did not know you were to be here.
Otherwise, you might have remained in town.
On the contrary, I would have come with you greater alacrity.
You surprised me, sir. I didn't know you were so sociably inclined.
Usually I am not. You wish to continue writing. But when you have more leisure...
Mr. Darcy, if it is conversation you are in need of, I am sure your aunt, the Lady Catherine, will be delighted to furnish it. Now you must excuse me, I have to finish my letter.
Cousin, you are certain? You are certainly not aware that her ladyship has been asking for you. She intends to join you presently.
I am very honoured, but I am very busy, Mr. Collins.
Busy? Busy? No one is busy when Lady Catherine de Bourgh honours them with her attention.
Evidently you have discovered an exception, Mr. Collins.
You must forgive my cousin. She's had so few advantages. Anyway, I like to prepare things for her ladyship. She's accustomed to deference. Ah, her ladyship is coming. Are you certain? You're quite ready, cousin?
Yes, Mr. Collins.
Here you are, Darcy. It is kind of you to amuse Miss Bennet until I can entertain her. Miss Bennet, I was sorry to notice your small appetite at breakfast. It is not a sensible habit to make a light meal in the mornings. That window is so widely open. You know, sunlight is very bad for really good furniture. No, Collins, leave it alone. Where's Fitzwilliams?
Still asleep, I believe.
Asleep? And it's close on 9 o'clock. Whatever can you be thinking of?
Nothing, I should judge. Remember, he has been fighting for his country in India. He has a right to be somewhat tired.
He has no right to be late for breakfast in my house. Doesn't you and Miss Bennet say to each other? Oh, you're writing letters, I see, Miss Bennet.
I was.
But why in this room? We always write our letters in the library.
Oh, yes, I know, Lady Catherine, but the library does not possess such a view. And I write with so much more inspiration when looking out on green trees and flowers. Oh, look at that hawthorn hedge.
But you have not seen half the beauty of roses yet, cousin. That view is trifling, merely trifling.
That, Miss Bennet, is not a view at all. Miss Bennet has only been here 2 days, and most of that time has been spent in Fitzwilliam's company, Mr. Collins. My estate would require a month at least to appreciate all of its varied prospects. Collins!
Oh.
I believe Miss Bennet wishes to finish her letters.
Nonsense, Darcy. I haven't had sufficient leisure to get acquainted with Miss Bennet. It is fortunate I have a few moments this morning, as we're waiting for Mrs. Collins to accompany us on our weekly duty visits to the cottages. Now, my child. You didn't finish telling me about your sisters last evening. How many did you say you had?
2, your ladyship.
And how many carriages did you report?
1, Lady Catherine.
Pray, what was your mamma's maiden name?
Gardner, ma'am. And she has a brother who lives in Cheapside. He's an attorney.
Oh, cousin, I beg of you.
Never mind, Collins, I've chosen not to have heard. Do you play, child, and sing?
A little.
I'm happy to hear it. Music is of all subjects my delight. I should have been a great proficient. Had I learned.
Oh, I'm sure you would, Lady Catherine.
Has your governess left you?
Oh, we never had a governess.
No governess, great heavens! Never heard of such a thing. Your mamma must have been a perfect slave to your education. Oh no! Pray, what is your age?
As I'm still unmarried, your ladyship can hardly expect me to answer that question.
You can't be more than 20. That gives you plenty of time before you need be lying about your age. If you receive no offer by the time you are 30, why,
Is there anything else you'd like to know about me, Lady Catherine?
I think we've heard quite enough about yourself for this morning. We can hear the rest another time. Now, I really must devote some of my attention to Mrs. Collins. Collins, hurry her.
Good morning, Aunt. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth.
Good morning, sir.
Darcy.
Fitzwilliam, I fully appreciate all you've done for England, but you are expected to appear in time for breakfast in my house. Do you understand?
Forgive me, I am a lazy beggar, you know. And take every advantage of such a charming hostess.
But you are incorrigible. Miss Bennet will receive a false impression of your habits.
On the contrary, I have already received only the best.
On my honor, that is quite a spontaneous complimentation, isn't it? I hope I shan't disappoint you. Did you hear that, Darcy? And Miss Bennet is noticeably impressed upon you.
You see how unfortunate I am in meeting with a gentleman so well able to expose my real character. And in a part of the world where I had hoped to pass myself off with some degree of credit.
But I have said nothing to your discredit. There could be nothing to say.
I do not understand your meaning, Miss Bennet. My nephew is too gentlemanlike to expose anybody.
Hey, Miss Elizabeth, I should like to hear something about Darcy. Why don't you retaliate and expose him? How did he behave in that fisher society?
Very strange.
Miss Bennet!
I'm sorry, ma'am, but truth compels me to state that he was unsociable and silent most of the time.
I lack the talent for conversing easily with strangers.
And those who are beneath your dignity are all strangers, and must forever remain strangers. Is that not so, Mr. Darcy?
I find myself unable to provide an answer.
Were you criticizing my nephew, Miss Bennet?
Criticizing Mr. Darcy, oh, Lady Catherine.
No, I would presume you not to. He has misunderstood you.
Ah, Mrs. Collins, good morning.
Oh, Mrs. Collins, you must have forgotten how I dislike to be kept waiting.
Oh, and Mrs. Collins was gathering together the accounts your ladyship so graciously asked for.
Ah, yes, the feed of the poultry and the cow.
Yes, your ladyship. I had to send one of your footmen to the parsonage late. They're all there. You see how fortunate I am with you.
Yes, I am beginning to, Charlotte dear.
Nothing is too insignificant for her ladyship's kind attentions, even in such a small household as mine.
Oh, ours, my love.
Yes.
Indeed. It is the least I can do.
Oh, Charlotte.
Now, we must set out. I've heard that some of the cottagers are supposed to be quarrelsome again.
I have done them so often the duty of counting their blessings, your ladyship.
You would believe, Lizzie, how discontented some of these foolish people can be with their nice little two-roomed cottages. But Lady Catherine settles all their differences and silences their complaints.
I can well imagine it.
Now, I really will hear no more compliments for today, my dears. Mrs. Collins, we'll go to your parsonage first. You and Mr. Collins may walk across, and I will drive over to Phaeton and join you. Good morning, Miss Bennet. Fitzwilliams, I cover you.
No, thank you, Aunt. I don't feel as well qualified as you and Mr. Collins to tell the villagers how to live.
You're probably right.
Yes, I should stay in play Miss Elizabeth and Little Mother. Then Darcy, the Constitution.
Very right. Oh, Miss Bennet, remind me, before you seal your letter, I want to send some advice to your mother. We'll discuss it later. Come, my dears!
Oh, my poor Charlotte.
Come now, cheer up. Why don't you come for a walk with me? Write your bashful letter later.
Oh, it is tempting out there in that dew-drenched world. It's all so bright and shining. No, I shall be firm. I'll meet you on your way back, though I shall have to do it by stealth.
Goodbye, Jove, it must be dull being a girl. I have often thought about it. Never going anywhere alone, sitting, knitting, or netting, or whatever it is you call it. Purses and things, waiting for some chap to make you an offer. Egad, how does a girl like you put up with all of it?
Well, for one thing, I don't net purses, and I'm not waiting for any offers. And I actually came to Hunsford alone in the mail coach. Now, what do you think of that?
You are too intelligent for a young lady, that's your trouble.
And for most of the young gentlemen I meet. Now, Colonel, what about your constitutional and my letter?
Say, Miss Elizabeth, do you mind if I ask you something?
As long as I don't have to answer.
It's about Darcy. I'm fond of the solemn old owl. Heard him just now. Why are you so prejudiced against him?
Prejudice? I didn't know I was that. Frankly, I dislike him. It is a very polite show, and I hoped I did not. I have very good reasons for my prejudice as to that. You might ask him why he adopts such a superior attitude.
It's the confounded pride of his. It's always mistaken for conceit. But when you really know him...
Is there really more to know beyond a supreme self-assurance and a disdain for anyone under a peer? Such snobbery in a well-born man is incomprehensible to me. I always thought only inferior people were snobs.
Well, it's surprising how many well-born people are like that. It's taught them by nursemaids and governesses when they are youngsters. But Darcy has an awfully decent character underneath all that nonsense. His heart and the mind too. If you could only get to feel.
I shouldn't bother to try.
I really like to change your opinion on those oversights. I'm such a stupid ass. I have no vocabulary whatsoever when I want to convince.
You're a loyal friend, and I like you for it. But I am wondering, nevertheless, if you could really mention one kind of action.
Yes, I can think of one.
Let me hear it.
Very well. What would you say if I told you we stayed tight in London all last winter, just to keep a friend away from temptation?
What temptation?
Yes, the temptation of making a disastrous marriage.
Oh.
Yes, friend of his, chap named Bingley, something like that. Evidently had a consuming passion for some designing using at some outlandish place in the country.
That happens so often, doesn't it?
Yes, doesn't it? Of course, she had nothing for him, only wanted his name and his fortune. She was aided in her various schemes by a particularly awful specimen of her.
Well, perhaps it was one of those mothers whose kind intentions are often fatal to those she most wishes to help.
Probably. But in addition to that, she had a pair of sisters who must have been veritable she-wolves. Poor Bingley, he was as good as cold.
Oh, but Mr. Darcy snatched him from the jaws of the she-wolf.
Exactly! Oh, he only mentioned to me because I happened to ask him why it stayed so unusually long in town. It really was an awfully decent, unselfish thing for him to have done.
Indeed it was. And I see now I have been underrating Mr. Darcy. I didn't know he was made of such heroic stuff.
Yes. I say, Miss Elizabeth, yet me.
Oh no, Colonel, not at you.
I did want you to know the truth.
Ah, it's William. Are you going out?
I was, but oh wait.
No. If you take the same route we discovered yesterday, I'll join you there a little later.
Very good. Au revoir, Miss Bennet.
Miss Bennet, I wish to speak to you.
I should have thought it evident that I wished to finish my letter.
You're not very polite. You're always a stickler for politeness in literature.
We are most of us sticklers for virtues in other people.
Miss Elizabeth.
Mr. Darcy, what is it?
It's no use. In vain have I struggled. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. I fought with myself all these months. You may think I am speaking without due thought, that my feelings for you outweigh my common sense, that this love for you that consumes me is something that will pass, but it is not so. I've learned that in the bitterness of my self-abasement. I love you.
Do you expect me to take you seriously? Have you so quickly forgotten the inferiority of my family?
I have forgotten nothing about you, and I love you.
Have you considered my unsuitability in the eyes of your exalted world, Mr. Darcy?
I have considered it, and I love you.
You need not say it again, sir. What am I supposed to reply to this extraordinary harangue? One can scarcely call it an offer of marriage. You do not, I suppose, expect me to feel flattered.
Or do you expect me to be happy that your family is inferior to mine? Or blame me for being honest and sincere when making the most momentous decision of my life?
Decision?
Yes, my dearest. I have decided to ask you to marry me.
I suppose I should be overwhelmed at this honor.
But
I ought to congratulate you on overcoming the battle between your unwilling affections and my unworthiness. But you see, I happen to be quite uninterested in your problem.
Miss Elizabeth.
If you hadn't been so lacking in perception, sir, you might have spared yourself my refusal.
You refuse me?
You might have noticed the fact long ago. I've never hidden it. I neither aspire to, nor could I ever return your affections. And as for your scruples about marrying into my family, don't ever let that concern you again.
Is that all the reply I'm to be honored with? I might perhaps deserve to know why I have been rejected in so little civility.
I too might deserve to know why you consider my feelings so little while expressing your own.
Oh, please, if the manner of my revelation has offended you...
I am influenced by something deeper than your manners, Mr. Darcy. I am thinking more of your fine capacity for cruelty.
Cruelty? When have I ever demonstrated that capacity?
Mr. Darcy, have you never willfully injured an innocent person?
You are again referring to my treatment of Mr. Wickham. That still preys on me. The influence inferior men exert over superior women often puzzles me.
Inferior? Do you always apply that word only to other people?
I feel justified in using it towards Mr. Wickham. Or perhaps the word can might be more descriptive. If the principal evidence against me is based on your faith in the word of a man
This
like
is
you.
unworthy of you.
I know you do not choose to believe me. But let me most earnestly warn you against him. He is an unprincipled, designing...
I refuse to listen to you any further. It is not only what you have done to Mr. Wickham, though that would be quite enough. Even if I care for you, and I never could, nothing would induce me to marry the man who has ruined my sister's life. The sweetest soul ever born. How could you do it? How could you hurt her, having once known her? Can you deny having come between Jane and Charles Wickham?
I did everything in my power to separate your sister from my friend. Towards him, I have been wiser than towards myself.
You talk to me of love. They love each other, she and Charles. Jane is of those who will only love once. It will kill her. I know it will. You have trodden on a heart.
wish to think badly of me.
I have no choice.
I have made the mistake of being honest with you.
Honesty is a very overrated virtue. Tact and taste are more agreeable ones.
My scruples with regards to your family were natural.
And should have been kept to yourself. Let us end this distasteful subject. You could not have made your offering any way that would have tempted me to accept it. Mr. Darcy, you are the last man in the world whom I could ever be without the thought to marry.
Forgive me for having taken up your time. I wish you every happiness.
Don't you worry about Miss Jane, Miss.
I'm all right. I'm just tired. Mrs. Wade.
You can't believe how glad I was to see you last night. The responsibility was too much for me.
I came home as soon as I got Papa's message. And Jane seems happier out there where she can see the flowers. Doesn't she, Miss Slade?
Aye. The apothecary was right, Miss. And it's no trouble for me and Hill to carry you downstairs in the morning. If I might take the liberty. Couldn't we just hint to the young
Oh,
gentleman?
no, she would never forgive us.
If you'll forgive me, it would be best to keep Mrs. Bennet away from her as much as possible. It upsets Miss Jane to have your lady mother always blaming a Mr. Bingley.
Yes, I'll tell her more. She's so anxious that she imagines all sorts of things.
Are you very tired, Lizzie? How is Jane? Was it a long night?
Oh, I'm worried with her. She seems so languid. When I speak with her, she just gives me that angelic smile. Oh, you know it. Oh, Papa, what have they done to her?
Lizzie, my dear child, we can't have you losing courage. There's no change by tomorrow. I've decided to call for a physician down from town. It's you I'm worried about. You're not getting enough sleep. There's too much on your shoulders. Your mother, as usual, is quite useless in a crisis.
Mr. Bennet, I really don't think that's the proper way to speak of your wife. You shouldn't blame me for my wretched nerves. Is she warm enough out there? I must go check.
Oh, no, Mama, don't disturb her. I promised Mrs. Lane we would all keep away from her until she wakes up.
It's a comfort to have you home again, busy with everything at 6s and 7s. Our darling James are back unconscious. All the fault of that fickle Mr. Bingley.
I hope you have the sense to refrain from such observation in anyone else's company. They humiliate your daughter.
Well, if she dies of a broken heart, then it will be a comfort to know that that young man is responsible.
You certainly get your comfort in queer ways, Mrs. Bennet. Lizzie, your Aunt Gardner informed us that Jane had not felt well for some time in London.
Oh, Auntie should have let us know. I would have gone straight there.
I really don't see why we should be having all this trouble.
Seems to me that Jane has all the trouble, Mrs. Bennet. You only have the complaints. Do you know how your daughter Lydia is going on at Brighton?
Oh, that's another thing. Ever since she's been down there, we've only had 2 letters, and that's all your fault, Mr. Bennet.
Your reasoning is too intricate for me, my dear. Evidently, your daughter Lydia is enjoying herself. The last letter we received informed us that she returned from the seafront, attended by Mr. Wickham and other officers.
Yes, the dear child is always surrounded. You've never done Lydia injustice. She'll make the best match of all my girls. Just you wait and see. That's sensible, my love. You told me so much of your visit. How do the Collinses live? Very comfortably, I suppose. And what kind of table do they keep? Charlotte's an excellent manager, yes. Living like a mother, a little wasted. And there's nothing extravagant in their housekeeping or warrant.
I left before I had time to investigate, Mamma. You forget, we only stayed at Rosie.
So they could tell me nothing. And I suppose when you were over in their rooms, they spoke of how they'd have Longbourn when your father dies.
I admire the composure with which you seem to face that inevitable prospect, Mrs. Bennet. Nevertheless, I wish you would stop referring me so constantly as a corpse. Let us hope for the better things, and let us pray I may be the survivor.
Well, people can bring themselves to enjoy an estate that is not their own. So much better. Your father, no doubt, feels guilty whenever I refer to the matter.
Then would it not be kinder to spare his feelings, Mamma?
Men should be made to feel that they've done wrong. Besides, I don't hold with this trying to escape from responsibility when one has daughters.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Lady Catherine. Good afternoon, your ladyship. This is a pleasant surprise. We are very happy to receive your ladyship. This lady, I suppose, is your mother. May I present my mother, Mrs. Bennet, Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Mamma. I noticed you have a very small heart.
Oh, it's rather larger than Sir William Lucas's. Has your ladyship lunched?
Certainly. Are the Jolly Millers in Meryton? Do you suppose, Mrs. Bennet, I should be uncertain about where I could procure my luncheon? I have more respect for my stomach, I have, Mrs. Bennet. The Jolly Millers is as good an inn as any, and their cook is no doubt more efficient than one you would have here, in a place with such a very small pot.
Oh, but of course, Lady Catherine.
I'd like to converse with you alone, Miss Bennet.
Oh, certainly. I'm very flattered by your kind interest in Lizzie. If you need me, I shall be in the library. I'm reading a book.
That piece is quite genuine, Lady Catherine. Is your chair comfortable?
Sit here, Miss Bennet, where I can see you plainly. I suppose you know why I'm here.
No, I don't know what I have done to deserve this honor.
Has not your conscience told you?
My conscience?
Miss Bennet, I am not to be trifled with. I am celebrated for my frankness. Don't assume those innocent airs. I'm not a man. They will have no effect whatsoever upon me. A report has reached me that you hope to be married to my nephew, Mr. Darcy. I will not insult him by asking the truth of this, so I have come post-haste from Rosings to tell you my exact sentiments.
Oh, what a long way to come for such a purpose, Lady Catherine. Especially as I know nothing of such a rumour.
Will you swear to me there is no foundation for it?
No, I do not pretend to be as celebrated for frankness as your ladyship. So there are certain questions I may choose not to answer. This is one of them.
How dare you! am here determined. I'm not used to submitting to any person's whims, nor brooking disappointments.
Oh, that is unfortunate. It is rather late in life for your ladyship to be receiving her first taste of it.
Be silent! The idea of you wanting to marry out of your own sphere.
No, I do not consider it so. Mr. Darcy is a gentleman. I am the daughter of one.
And pray, what was your mother? A lady? The daughter of a shopkeeper? With a brother in Antonia? You see, Miss Bennet, I am not deceived by your airs and graces.
And you, Lady Catherine, the daughter of a peer. It's strange how little birth seems to affect questions of taste or gentleness of heart.
As if you could possibly know anything about such things. Answer me, once and for all, are you engaged to my nephew?
I must ask you to speak in a low key. My sister is asleep out there. And no, I'm not engaged to him.
And will you promise me never to be?
I will not.
Miss Bennet, I am shocked. Then I refuse to leave until you have given me that promise.
I trust your ladyship will have a pleasant journey back to Rose. Hill? Her ladyship's coach, if you please.
Just waiting, Miss Lizzie.
I take no leave of you. I send no farewell message to your mother. Miss Bennet, I am seriously displeased.
Why did her ladyship leave so soon? I hoped to have a nice talk with her about the Collinses.
She didn't wish to remain any longer, Ma.
She's a very fine looking woman, my love, and her visiting here was prodigiously civil. She only came, I suppose, to tell us the Collinses were well. On her way somewhere. Passing through Raritan, thought she might as well call on you. I suppose she had nothing in particular to say, Lizzie?
No, Mamma. Nothing at all.
Lizzie! Lizzie, where are you? Lizzie, are you upstairs?
Here, Papa.
Here, read this.
What's wrong, Mr. Bennet? You look vexed about something.
Oh, Papa, this is frightful.
Mr. Bennet, I really think I'm as deserving of your confidence as my daughter Lizzie.
Colonel Foster informs me that your daughter Lydia has run off with Mr. Wickham.
Where?
What does it matter where? The important thing is she ran off anywhere with that scoundrel. They have a love to you, understand?
Mr. Wickham, this seems incredible.
Dear child, what about any wedding clothes? Mr. Bennet, she must send money at once. Only how will she know which warehouses to choose? Elizabeth, my love, I think you ought
They left Brighton at midnight on Saturday and were not missed until 8 o'clock yesterday morning.
But he will certainly marry her, Papa.
What? They're not married? That's not possible. My lady will not do such a thing.
Well, kindly control yourself, Mrs. Bennet. This is no time for hysterics. Listen to this. Your daughter Lydia left a message for my wife stating that she and Mr. Wickham were off to Gretna Green. I at once set off after them and traced them as far as Clapham, but there lost all clues. For on entering that place, they were moved into a hackney coach that...
My poor innocent child!
Mrs. Bennet, for once, if you will stop your outcries for just one moment until we ascertain the exact situation, then you may resume them again if you wish.
But how will she get married? She has no wedding clothes!
Mrs. Bennet, for once in your life, I am trying to entreat you not to be silly. All that is known after this is they were seen to continue the London road. After making every possible inquiry on that side of London, I am sincerely grieved to tell you that I can find no further trace of them and no word of any marriage ceremony.
Oh, do hush, Mamma. Colonel Forster's letter only said that he has found no trace of any ceremony yet. That doesn't mean...
Whatever it means, you can rest assured I'll take care of that young man. Ah!
Mr. Bennet, you scare me out of my wits. I know
Try to stand up, come on. I'll get Mrs. Lake. Papa and Hill will help you upstairs. Mrs. Lake?
Hill, I want you to be able to pack my things and prepare the coach. I'll be leaving soon. Over, help your mistress upstairs.
Will you prepare a potion for my mother? She's not well and needs some rest.
I can manage alone, sir. Lean on me, ma'am. That's the way.
Prepare the coach, pack my things, and you'll ride me to the post house immediately.
Yes, sir.
Lizzie, I must leave at once. Can you manage things here?
Of course, Papa.
Don't you worry, I'll find them. I'll make that scoundrel marry her.
Just get them married, Papa. Never mind how punishing Wickham. But how could Lydia have done this?
Well, that shameless girl, she wouldn't have eloped with anything in a uniform.
It's our fault. Mine especially. I've been warned about Wickham. I could have saved her. Oh, we never bothered about the poor child except to criticize her.
I too am to blame, but my heart has its own bitterness.
I know, dear Papa. I know.
I'll say goodbye to your mother and pack my things.
Mr. Darcy and Mr. Bingley. I hope you are not intruding, sir.
Oh, not at all. If you'll excuse me, I must post up to London almost immediately and be there for a few days. Goodbye, Lizzie. Take care of yourself.
Yes, Papa, I'll manage.
Gentlemen,
Your servant, sir.
Miss Elizabeth, may I be permitted to see Miss Jane?
She is gravely ill, Mr. Bingley.
Shocked to hear it. I learned of her illness only today. Mr. Darcy learned of it at Rosings and found me in London and brought me here. I know that you and your family have every reason to think ill of me, Miss Bennet. And I shouldn't blame your sister if she refused ever to see me again. But there are some sentiments that are too strong to be denied, Mr. Darcy. Please do let me see her, Miss Elizabeth. I assure
I
you.
understand. She's out here. Mr. Darcy, I find myself in the unexpected position of having to thank you.
You need not embarrass yourself. I only beg that you accept my word of honor that I had no idea that Miss Jane cared seriously for Charles. You knew no more than I. Miss Bingley assured us that your sister had only a passing interest in my friend.
Miss Bingley formed her own opinion too readily, as I did in my judgments of Mr. Wickham. Mr. Darcy, you must tell me what you know of him.
You care.
No. It is very important that I know the real truth about him.
Part of the story he tells is true. He was granted a small legacy in my father's will. I saw that it was more than fulfilled, so I gave him an offer of £3,000 in clerical living at Pemberley. He haughtily refused the living, but graciously accepted the money. It was squandered within a year thanks to his ill luck with gambling and fascination for women. It was then he was driven to more desperate measures. He learned that my sister was at Brad's case.
Mr. Wickham and your sister.
He persuaded that child of 15 that she was in love with him and made her promise to elope. Thank God I arrived in time to spoil the plan.
Oh, if I had only listened to you, I might have saved Lydia.
Lydia?
She was staying at Brighton with the Forsters. She eloped from there. That's why my father has just gone up to London. Oh, he will never marry her. She has no money, no connections, nothing to tempt him. Lydia is done for.
Please, you must not despair.
You see, my family is not only inferior now, but disgraced. You should be grateful to me.
And may I come again tomorrow to see her?
Indeed you may, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth.
And you will see her again tomorrow.
Well, I hope I shall see her on every tomorrow that may ever be.
I must bid you goodbye, Miss Elizabeth. I am to leave Netherfield at once.
But I thought you would stay on.
I find it impossible to stay on.
But what has caused a sudden change? Has anything gone wrong?
You know I have no taste for the country.
Sorry. Goodbye, Miss Elizabeth.
Goodbye, Mr. Bingley. Goodbye, Mr. Darcy.
your servant now.
Oh, Jane! Jane, my darling! Isn't it wonderful to be alive on such a morning, Mamma?
Oh, indeed. Even the weather seems to be celebrating your engagement to that darling Mr. Bingley. Dear, I must learn to call him Charles now that he is to be my son. You know, Jane, I can scarcely sleep at night for happiness. Two sons-in-law, both my daughters to be married women. Lydia already married to that naughty Mr. Wickham. Your father certainly handled all that business very well. But not for Lizzie. Come back to turn out to be an old maid. If only she'd not been so uppish with that young Mr. Collins.
May that be a lesson to her. Marriage is in the air, I see. Two in the family. Back to your old health, eh, Mrs. Bennet? You too, Jane? What is Bingley planning to arrive?
So he'll be heading over now, Papa.
Ah, Prejudice. Mr. Darcy is quite an extraordinary young man. We saw quite a lot of him at the gardens in London.
Darcy? Darcy at the gardeners? You see, Lizzie, you've got him so proud. I told you you misjudged him.
Well, Lizzie thinks she knows more than everybody else.
Oh, no, Mamma. Not everybody.
Of course, you're only 20, though, to be sure, I was married when I was 17.
Ah, but remember how irresistible you were, my dear.
Don't despair, Mamma. While there's life, there's hope. And after all, I've still some of my teeth.
Oh, you shouldn't joke about such things. Really, Lizzie, you can't expect your father to find another 10,000 to give to you, or your Uncle Gardner. Though he, I understand, found the sum for us, I earnestly hope he does not expect us to pay it back.
I did not know my uncle could spare so much money.
Well, I'm glad somebody in the family could find the money for darling Lydia's dowry.
Otherwise, no doubt, the naughty Mr. Wickham would have continued to live in sin with her.
Elizabeth, your own sister, really. The servants must have heard you.
But isn't that the reasonable way of mentioning a young lady and a gentleman going about in post chaises without pledging respectability?
There's really no way of mentioning it. Not for respectable people.
Well, my poor Uncle Gardner spent $10,000, pounds, so that respectable people could mention it. I only hope we didn't spend principal's fortune for this worthless pair.
Oh, no, you can erase such worries from your mind, Lizzie.
What do you mean, Papa?
Never mind. I knew my good, kind brother would manage everything.
But £10,000!
Elizabeth, it is none of your business. Lydia is married and secured, and that is all that matters.
Cannibals and brigands are gentle in comparison.
In comparison to what?
Mothers.
Did I mention it was through the efforts of Mr. Darcy that we found the pair?
What?
And that he helped us pay back Lydia's respectability?
It's not true. He must be a noble character. But why would Mr. Darcy do all this?
I understand that he detests Mr. Wickham. He's never been at all kind to Lydia. I really should have preferred my brother Gardner to pay the sum. Why didn't he, Mr. Bennet?
Oh, for the very simple reason he didn't have it. As for why Mr. Darcy decided to play the philanthropist, it'll probably reveal itself in its own time. But the Wickhams are never to know.
But you needn't worry about me ever telling. I prefer Mr. Wickham to leave the members of our family providing his wife's dowry. That way, when I want to go visit my girl, he can never object.
Did I also mention that the Wickhams are being sent up north to join the regiment there? They'll be arriving here along the way.
Oh, Mr. Bennet!
I'm not at all ready to receive the couple.
What? Why?
You must receive them, Papa.
Yes.
Lydia has injured himself enough without being cast off by us.
Well, perhaps you are right.
How lovely it would be to see darling Lydia once more.
Mr. Charles Bingley.
Oh, do come in, my dear Mr. Bingley.
Your servant, ma'am. And yours, sir. My sister sends greetings to you all from Melody. And to you especially.
And please convey mine to her.
It is so nice to have everything as it once was again.
Oh, quite, ma'am. I'm hoping you know to have a new mistress there very soon. I come over today for your consent, sir. You received my letter in London.
My boy, you are the first of any suitor to arrive with me with my approval, with all my heart, sir. Jane, you are such a good girl. I'm happy to see you be well disposed of in a marriage with a husband worthy of you. I have not a doubt about this marriage, not a single one. We're both so like not to disagree, not agree. My words. You are both so sweet-tempered that your servants will always impose on you, and so generous your income will always exceed. Trust you, my children.
What queer things you do say. Jane is a little extravagant and as for exceeding their income, Charles has 5,000 a year. That should be enough to keep them from the almshouse.
Come on, Jane, do you think I could go for a walk with Charles in the garden?
Miss Lydia, I mean, Mrs. Wickham.
It's Lydia. What a long journey we've had.
Darling Lydia.
Yes, terribly tedious indeed. Now, how is my new family?
Well, congratulate me. I'm a married woman now.
Welcome, Lydia, dear.
Jane, Charles.
Have you seen any of our friends in Meryton, Miss Elizabeth?
I have not, Mr. Wickham.
Oh, well, now I'm aiming less formal. Lizzie.
Oh, that is hardly necessary.
Lizzie, my child.
Lydia!
Did you have a nice journey back from London, Papa? We must have left quite soon after you. There would have been plenty of room in our chaise for you, wasn't there, Mr. Wickham?
Yes, we would have been honoured to have you in our chase.
Just think, it's been 3 whole months since I left. Oh, it's just the same old place. Goodness gracious, I certainly had no idea of being married when I returned. Did people hear about it to know I'm married?
Of course, my darling, everyone knows it.
Oh, do you know what happened on the way in? As we were passing William Gordon in his curricle, I wanted him to know about my being married, of course. So I rolled down the window, the one next to him. And as we passed him, I laid my hand on the windowsill, like so I could see my wedding ring. Oh, now the whole of Meryton will know I'm married. Then I bowed and curtsied. Ah, my lady, you may still be the prettiest if you like, but I got married first. And what do you girls think of my new husband? Isn't he charming?
You embarrass me, Mrs. Wickham.
Brighton is the place to go to get husbands.
But must you and Mr. Wickham live so very far away?
I would love it! You and Papa and sisters must come and visit us. We'll be up at Newcastle all winter and I'm sure we'll have lots of balls. I want you to find both girls good partners. They'll both be married before the winter's out. You leave it to me.
Thank you for your kind intentions, but I don't particularly care for your way of getting husbands.
Oh. Poor Lizzie. Jealousy is quite an awful feeling. Oh, at least you, Jane, are not cross at me for getting married first.
But perhaps she may be soon following your suit.
But I was first. At any rate.
Take Mr. Wickham upstairs and both to prepare for luncheon and not to leave before then.
Don't we make a nice couple, Jane?
Charles, do take Jane out to the garden for some sunshine and do forgive Lydia. She is so very young.
I'm delighted to see you so happy now. My darling, I can't believe this.
Is it more difficult to believe this than what you believed in London?
Jane, you know I loved you when I left Netherfield.
Yes, but I had that knowledge all entirely to myself. Showing me values things mutual.
And I was assured of your indifference, my darling.
So it's a credit to a modesty rather than to a judgment.
If I'd only known.
You only asked.
Oh, my dear fellow, I didn't know.
Mr. Darcy, please wish me joy. It's your doing, you know.
Words wouldn't do it for me, Miss Jane. I wish you both every happiness. Now don't let me keep you from your walk.
You. I did not expect.
I hope I am not altogether unwelcome.
I am glad of the opportunity of expressing my gratitude for all you have done, for all of us.
Let it be for yourself. Just know that anything I did, I thought only of you.
Of me.
If you were too generous to trifle with. I was wondering if you still felt the same way you did at Rose's.
I could hardly imagine that such matters still concern you.
That matter will always concern me, Miss Elizabeth. Can you ever forget my past arrogance?
Surely, in such a case, a good memory would be unpardonable. Oh, I'm so ashamed. If you had not been so noble and just, you would have hated me.
things you so exaggerate had been done by your husband.
Enjoy your triumph. I'm abased. I never wanted to see you again.
Do you still mean that?
No.
Dare I ask you again? Again?
My father says you're the sort of gentleman one would not dare refuse anything he condescended to ask.
Oh, my fool. My car. Oh, my lovely Elizabeth.
first time directing, and we couldn't have done it without them, and this was just a fantastic show. Thank you both so much.